I predicted it, didn't I? Spain, England are going to be in the finals. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my semi-final review. This is not going to be a long video because I want to get it out of the way. We are 48 hours away from being, well, in 48 hours time, the next time I pick up my phone, hopefully we will be champions of Europe for the first time ever. And to think that could happen is nuts. We shouldn't be in this final. I don't know how we got here, but we have. Okay, there's the question of we were on the easy side of draw, but you've got to question other teams, you know, and how we kind of got first, but it's how it goes sometimes. And we've come on the right end of the draw, everything's looking sweet, everyone's looking good, but we can't get too overconfident. Let's talk about the first game, Spain versus France. What a game it was. So I'm going to do 6 minutes on both games because that's going to be enough time, and then do my final prediction for this Euros, because I did predict that this would be the final. But Spain versus France, Spain didn't look as great. I mean, they got the 2 goals, impressive comeback, but they didn't do anything in the second half. Very similar to England, but England had to do stuff and had to get the goal. I mean, France have been bad all tournament, but I think that was one of their stronger games. They really did turn up a little bit better than I think a lot of people thought. And I thought it was going to be a very high scoring game. At one point I thought it was going to be like 3-2. I thought it was going to keep going like that until like the last 10 minutes where Spain would settle it down a bit, in terms. But Spain have been good. And a lot of people are saying, oh, this is not the same team of 2010 and 8 and 12, but it is. It's a rebirth of it, and it's taken them a long time to get to this place, but they're looking good. And you can't doubt this Spanish team's been the best team of the tournament. The first team to win 6 games in a row at this European Championships ever, and you've got to give respect to that. And they're going to want to make it 7. They want to be like Thanos with the Infinity Stones, and England have to be the Avengers. This is basically Avengers 4, basically Endgame, and we're trying to, revenge what has happened in the past at the last Euros. But I'll be honest with you, I can't see Spain going without a fight. I mean, Spain were good in the first half, but weren't so great in the second, if I'm going to be honest with you. And I think if there's anything, it does very much come down to who's got the quality to win this game. I mean, Yamal has been absolutely brilliant. Yamal, the 16-year-old kid who is still at school, still has to do homework, as well as training, as well as getting his team back into this game, has a future in football and has outsmarted one of the best players in the world right now, Mbappe. So he can bow down. And, a lot of people are saying, oh, he won't be as good as Messi, but we don't know. There was a poll that I saw, and it was Yamal versus Messi. Which is he going to be better than Messi? And that's harsh. This is his only first tournament. He's only 16. I mean, the similarities is that both walked onto the scene as teenagers playing at Barcelona. But it's too early to tell. I mean, you can't compare Messi to him. Messi's at the end of his career. This boy is at the beginning of his career. I mean, it's not just Yamal. Morata's been on great form at this tournament. I mean, he's impressed me. Last tournament he was really bad, and it just didn't go very well at the Euros as well as the World Cup. Pedri, when he comes back, will be a big factor, and especially Rodri as well. You know, there's so many good players in this Spanish team, and my word, it's going to be a hell of a fight tomorrow night. And just processing this Spanish team is so hard, and there's more weaknesses than Spain actually think, because they are the favourites. They have been the undefeated team. They're the only team on 6 wins. You know, we can constantly say we are the favourites, but going into this game now, it is Spain. Spain have been the team to beat. No one's beaten them. Germany were close. France were close enough, but just were arm's reach away. And in terms of a game, and in terms of quality, and just damn right, you know, football ability, I think Spain do win this tournament. But there is always a twist in this tournament, and we've seen it before. We saw it in 2016. I think that's the last time we've seen it, where France go into that game, they're obviously the favourites, and it just didn't go well. I don't count the England one in 2021 because France were good. Italy were good, but France in 2016 should have won that Euros. I mean, those moments there are going to be huge. Anyway, I said I was going to do this for 6 minutes. It's got 30 seconds left to go. I'm going to stop. I'm going to need the toilet, so I'll come back and we'll do the England game. See you in a minute. Oh my word, were England good? And this might have just been the plan, to be average at best and shit, excuse my language, throughout the group stages and then turn up in the knockouts. I mean, we got away with murder against Slovakia, but the last 2 games have been good from England, and they have beaten my average prediction. I said England were going to get knocked out in the semis or quarterfinals in this tournament in my final predictions, but they've proved me wrong again, and everyone needs to stop dissing this England team, and I think everyone needs to stop dissing Southgate. Changes he made, everything about it was amazing, you know. Bless you me. There's no other better result than winning just before the final whistle. You know, we won it in normal time, 2-1. Ollie Watkins' goal was the difference. Give me a sec. But I can't say it was just Ollie Watkins this time. Ollie Watkins, Phil Foden, Kane in the first 25 minutes I think was good. Everything was just clicking. And there was a chance in the 93rd minute, because it was they had 3 minutes added on, that we could have got a 3rd goal. But we just got the wrong touch. Had we got a 3rd goal in extra time, I think it would have been an even better performance. But this is the real reality. Are we good enough to beat Spain? I think we are. I generally think we can beat Spain, and this prediction is going to be completely different this time, because I'm going to tell you now, I think England can win this. I don't know if Spain, you know, not necessarily have no quality, but I don't think Spain are ready for this England team. You know, we've been lucky at certain points, and quality has lacked a bit, but you can't say that England haven't deserved it. They were always going to win that game. I didn't see the Dutch winning it. We've been preparing for that game ever since the round of 16. We were meant to be playing the Dutch in the round of 16. And I think Gareth may have not had that game plan, but he knew how to beat the Dutch 3 games ago. And, 3 games later, we've beaten them. And a lot of people way back in round 16 were worried that we were going to play.
You won't be able to do 2 at the same time.
Sorry about that. Fucking loud mothers. But no, my feeling is we had that plan ages ago against the Dutch, and the Dutch, there's a lot of criticism on the Dutch, and there's questions on, how is this, Dutch team being so bad, but there was a lot of decisions against them. I don't think they were fully there. They were good, but they had to do a lot of work in that game. And the penalty, I think it was a penalty. I don't know why the constant pundits, are saying, oh, it's not a penalty, it's not a penalty. It was a penalty, okay? Accept it. His studs are out. That penalty was the biggest turning point in the tournament for us. Again, another big moment. And then Cole Palmer sets up a goal in the 89 minute and 50 seconds. And we find a way to go on and win this game. What a way this tournament is. It may have not been the most comfortable of wins, that we should have probably finished it by 2 goals in the first half, and maybe we could have got 3 goals here. But we got to be confident in ourselves. We're having great moments, the best of the best teams. And I said this, we've seen this against Croatia, we've seen this against Italy. Every team that has beaten us in the past, since Southgate's been here, have won because of a moment. Not kidding you. Croatia 2018, won by a moment. Italy 2020, won by a moment. France versus England, won by a moment because of Harry Kane's mistake. It is time we reflect in Southgate's era and give him a little bit of respect. He made the right calls. He's not the best manager, and he's not the manager I would like to be an England manager. But if we overall look at it, he's done an amazing job for what has he was given. He was part of a squad that got knocked out by Iceland in 2016 and has been part of the squad, and now he's going to be here for another 2 more years. That's disappointing, I think. I think FA should have said, even if you do win, you need to step down. But the 2 years extension means if England are to win, it's a possibility we could be doing the double in 2026. But we cannot get ahead of ourselves, because we're now going to do our final prediction for this Euros 2024. What a tournament. We've gone from all the way, I think it was 3 months ago. It was 2 months ago, I think it was, or at the end of May. We predicted the groups, and, we predicted some interesting ones. I predicted some right, predicted some wrong. And man, we've been on this journey together, and, it's the first time I've regularly posted content in a long time, and I'm enjoying this. I'm going to do a lot more for rugby next year, but man, what a Euros. I know it's not been the most entertaining in the knockouts, but I think the semi-finals was more entertaining in the quarter and the semi together. There was just not enough, I think, shocks, but it was entertaining. I mean, it's not, I'll be honest with you, this Euros hasn't been as entertaining as Euro 2020. I think that was better than this one, but if England go and win it, it will be the highlight of any one's tournament that England go and win it. And I don't know how we've won it, but we will win it. And now it's my final prediction. I think you know what I'm going to say. Wow. From all the way from, I think it was Group A in qualification, I've watched this tournament. And I've seen teams that I thought were going to go through, like Norway and Scotland, would be amazing. We had Kazakhstan at one point. We had Armenia at one point being a threat from the qualifications, to Romania shocking Switzerland, to beating everyone in their group to become qualifying top runners in their group. The tournament has not been amazing. I'm going to be honest with you there. The final tournament hasn't been amazing, and that was expected. The big teams want to turn up, and even big teams that haven't turned up in the past are turning up, like Germany and Spain, and even you could say Switzerland are one that's come out of the blue, and elsewhere as Austria and Turkey. But my final prediction, I'm going to say it goes all the way to penalties and England win. This tournament has seen a lot of moments. I think also we're going to get 2 goals each. I think we get the first 2 goals from Spain in the first half. England get 2 more goals in the second half. We have the best European final we've had ever. I think another thing that a lot of people doubt about Spain and England is the youth. Both of these teams have had the best youth teams for years. You keep constantly seeing it every year on the news, or every year in UEFA. If you keep an eye on like the youth and like the under-20 finals, it's Spain and England constantly in Europe, or Spain and Germany. And this is why Germany and Spain and England have, I think, been the 3 best teams. And England's a little bit of a stretch, but I think England have been the 3rd best team of this tournament, because there are qualities that had moments where, ultimately they're going to want to do something. I don't think you can say that the Germans have not been 2nd best, and you can't say that England have been 3rd best, because they've got to the semi-final. They've been the 3rd best team in this knockout rounds, and I said the knockout rounds was going to be a completely different format. You're not going to get the same issues, defending and holding on to a point. It's a completely different format in the tournament, and that's why England are kind of doing better, because they prefer sort of this knockout football. It suits them better this time round. Normally it's the other way round. It suits the group stage for us, and then knockout football is where we do tend to struggle. But this time we've been better at knockout football, and that's ultimately what makes good teams, and this is why Spain and England are in the final. And back to youth thing. Youth is going to be a huge thing in the next coming few years at major tournaments, and you can never, in doubt, put your money that this will go differently and this will go a certain way. But I can't say that Spain or England are deserving winners. They both had different elements to the tournament. For England, they haven't won a major tournament in almost 60 years, and for Spain it has been not as long, but it's still been quite a distant amount of time. Spain are also going for a big historical factor, because they could be the most ever winners in Euros history. There could be 4. They beat the Germans, who are equal and free with them right now. And ultimately, I think it would have been, very interesting if it was a Germany-Spain final. But this is the right final. For many years, England and Spain, and I've seen it 2 times, have been in finals at the youth. And this just shows you how far these youth teams have been. And whether the youth is gonna win us this game, I think it's gonna be an entertaining game, and it just shows you, if you put your money towards your federations, put your money towards all these youth academy setups, you get good teams. These both have been working towards, England especially, and Spain have been working towards in different ways. They've not been on the greatest form, but that's because they've not used their youth. And as soon as they've started using their youth, they have a change of manager. It's a completely different ball game. But that's just me saying stuff. It could be rubbish what I'm saying, but I think that is what the biggest thing we can take away from this tournament is. People need to start funding their FAs, their football associations, even, you know, in like South America, you've seen it with Colombia. They've been outstanding this year. But my final prediction is England will win on penalties, or will win this tournament and will become the first team since Greece to become first time champions. And it is 20 years since that happened. The reality is 20 years later, this same sort of underdog story. We've been underdogs. You can't say we've been favourites. But 20 years later, and on my 2 days before I'm 21, we will become champions of Europe for the very first time in my lifetime, in a lot of people's lifetimes, and in some people's early lifetimehood. That would have been a special memory for people. There's not many people that were there in 66, but if we are to repeat 66 and become champions of Europe, it would be a spectacular moment. Another prediction is England either win on penalties or win 3-2 in extra time. That's my second prediction, and I don't think this game's going to be done in normal time. I'm going to give it to Spain. They'll become the best team of the tournament, and I think they do get the player of the tournament, Jan Yazim. But yeah, I can't say that it's going to be easy. But tomorrow night, it will all go down in Berlin, a remarkable stadium, the Olympic Stadium in Germany, a real iconic venue. It's had historic moments like the Nazi Olympics in 1936. We've had multiple events in there, including the 2006 World Cup. There's been loads of sporting events in that venue. 2006 was the last big one that I can remember off the top of my head. And, you know, that there is so much excitement. And for the first time in this tournament, everyone is now together. Everyone is believing. Everyone is starting to, you know, think, oh man, we are ready to do this. But it's not going to be easy. And as I've always said, it's not home yet, but it could be home soon. And it could be home on Monday. I will see you guys in about 48 hours. Straight after, I will be doing it probably straight after the game. After I've finished work, because I'm working till close at work. I work Sunday 12 to close, but as soon as I'm out of work, and as soon as the game ends, I will give you my full reaction, because I'll be watching it at my workplace. I'm not allowed to drink because they've put a ban at my place, but it is what it is. That's work stuff, I'm not going to tell you about that, but I will watch the game. It'll be a great atmosphere. It's going to be great to watch, and I cannot wait. Guys, comment down below who you think's going to win this Euros. Comment down below who you think's going to get the Golden Boot, and who you think's going to be the player of the tournament. For me, there's a lot of good players, but I think another thing that I want to say before we go is this tournament, with like the talent and like how like amazing the talent's been. Like, this tournament has opened us up to young players, and that's what it should have done. That's why this one hasn't been amazing, because our bigger players, our players that we expect to do really well, just haven't turned up, and that's not a bad thing. It gives a chance for the youth, and now all these young players. I mean, the Turkish player, I don't know his name. I can't remember his name, but he looks really good. You know, Bayazin, Mainu, Bellium. Even though he's not very young, he's still pretty young. And you know, it would have been nice to be seeing like Holland at this tournament. I think that would have been a great element, and I hope Norway are at the World Cup in 2026. But yeah, I'm going to round this off. This has been a 10-minute prediction. I hope you guys have enjoyed this final review of the tournament until the final, where we'll do the final review. This semi-final review has been amazing. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I've got to delete some footage now, but I'll see you guys soon when England lift the trophy, hopefully tomorrow night. I'm saying hopefully because I know how good this Spanish team is, and we can't doubt Spain. We've got to not overlook them. We've got to be... I think another thing, before I go, you've noticed it a bit more. We're more focused this time. We got over excited last time. This time, we're ready. It's just going to have to be up to us. Come on. Let's bring it home. Let's let it come home. Come on. Anyway. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.